Hey guys, this is Aditya from LightHaven. Today we're going to be talking about knife loading positions. Specifically, we're going to talk about the relationship between your 5 basic loading positions that you have with a longer weapon like a stick or a sword and how they translate to the knife. I have to say before we start that this is purely my opinion. You can disagree with me, and if you do, please leave it in the comments. I'm going to give you my reasons for why I like to do things in this particular way. The context is that when you are using a knife, everything is much closer than when you're using a longer weapon like a stick or a sword. Because of that, your loading positions, your movements have to be much tighter. So I'm going to try and explain how to translate those big single stick or single sword loading positions into your knife. Before we start though, please do like this video, please do comment if you agreed or disagreed, if you liked something, if you disliked something, please do subscribe to the channel, and at the end, if you liked or learned what you saw from this video, please do share it does help us out a lot. The first load we're going to start off with is a high load. So with the stick, your high load would be up here, with the stick in the center of your head, around the center of the stick or around the center of your head. Throughout this sort of discussion, I'm going to keep coming back to the fact that you cannot have such big loading positions, or you should not have such big exaggerated loading positions with a knife. Can you pull it off in sparring? Of course. But as a baseline thing to train your loading positions, you should start with tight loading positions, and then once you get more and more comfortable with the loading positions, with the strikes, with the way the knife moves, then you can go for more exaggerated ways of loading the knife. So instead of being all the way up here, in my high load, I'll prefer being somewhere here. So it's not too high, it's not in front of my eyes, it's not in front of me, blocking my vision, it's somewhere over here. Generally, if I for whatever reason want to use this loading position, I would use it maybe in my pakal grip with the tip of the knife facing my opponent. It's not a loading position I would frequently use in sparring, but if for whatever reason you want to use it, this is generally the way that I would recommend using it. So my other hand, I would want it to monitor sort of this space, because all of this is open, and from here you can stab down. You have your circular lines, you can cut across, you can go angle 1, you can go angle 2, you can jab straight down, you can go circular. You have a bunch of options from this loading position, but again, it's not that exaggerated high load up here, it's somewhere in the middle. The next 4 loads are your shoulder load, your medium load, your down load, and your cross load. But with the knife, I'm going to simplify it. We're going to go your forehand high load, your backhand low load, your forehand low load, and your backhand high load. The same principles are going to apply in terms of staying tight and compact. So with my shoulder load, now oftentimes I see this or some variation of this. Now again, coming back to the context of knife, where I don't want these big movements, right? I want tighter movements, faster movements. This is again my opinion, you're free to disagree with it. So for my shoulder load, instead of being up here or all the way back here, I want to be in sort of this guard position, right? It can be like your Muay Thai guard or your boxing guard, but this is your guard position. Whether it's in Saksa or whether you're in Pakal, I want to be in this guard position where I'm protecting myself. My knife can move in whichever direction it needs to, and it comes back here. So if I need to parry and cut, I can parry and cut. If I want to cut and come back, I can do that. Cut, jab, slash. I have many options, but it all comes from being tight as opposed to being up here or being up here, or any variation of the two. I want to stay sort of tight from here. The next position we're going to talk about is your medium load. So again, instead of being all the way back here, this is generally how I would play it, where my hand is tight to my body. Now with both your low loads, your forehand and your backhand low loads, you can really play around with which leg is in front. So for example, I might keep this hand in front to parry, to hit, to grab, whatever, and this hand may be concealing over here. Another way where you can find functionality for this load, maybe you're carrying a knife from here and this is where you draw the knife from this position. Maybe, I don't know, you're standing here, you're concealing the knife and that's where you strike from. But again, it's not all the way back here. It's somewhere in the middle where my hand is tight to me. It's not, I'm not showing my elbow where it can just be controlled and now I can't get the knife out. Play with whichever leg you want in front. There are reasons where, there are times when the live hand being in front makes more sense. There are times when the weapon hand being in front makes more sense. But again, keeping the hand nice and tight to yourself. From here I can slash low, come up, jab quickly up, come here, whether it's when I switch to Pakal, jab low, jab high. There are many options to cut and then come back here. So there could be a bunch of reasons why you would choose this load depending on the context that you're in. Next, let's go to your download. You can play it all the way down here if you want, but again, when we're learning it, when we're first working on it, we want to be tighter with our guards or loading positions. Generally, when I use this load, I keep my other live hand leg in front and I hide the knife somewhere here. Maybe my opponent is trying to grab my hand. Maybe I want to use this hand a lot more. Again, to grab, to strike, for whatever, push, whatever it may be. I keep this hand in front and from here is where the knife gets deployed. The next is your cross load. Here also, I'm not going to have my shoulder or my knife load all the way at the back over here, because it becomes very easy to jam my elbow and then I can't use the weapon. So this load I use mostly when I'm doing knife jabbing or something like that, where I'm up here and it's easy for me to do that backhand high sort of stand. Either angle 2 or that straight knife jab. In both grips I can slash angle 2 directly from here, I can jab directly from here. I like to have my body bladed and I present and I'm having either the edge of the knife or the tip of the knife facing my opponent from here. The other hand is at the back, it's monitoring everything else. It can be used to parry, it can be used to parry this way. If I have the other leg in front and I'm over here, it can be used to grab, to strike while this hand cuts down. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, if you learned from what you saw, please do like and share this video. Please do subscribe to the channel. If you agreed or disagreed or just have something to add to the conversation, please do leave it in the comment below. And see you guys in the next video.